Now, Monash University's Young Liberals Association held a Vote No event this week, and sadly, and some would say predictably, the Yes advocates managed to embarrass themselves again with their ugly, aggressive tactics.
They dare show up on this campus, this racist, sexist scum in the Liberal Party. Absolutely disgusting by these racist who are here on campus.
No space and no right to be leaving their racist pamphlets on our campus. They should feel isolated and they should feel like the things they're doing are abhorrent because they are.
Charming. The left really do think they can intimidate their ideological opponents into silence. Edward Kroger is the secretary of the Monash University Liberal Club, and he joins me now. Were you expecting that kind of abuse, and did the university take any measures to protect you?
Well, Rita, thank you so much for having me. There's no question that we had some terrible abuse. People were vilifying us with a megaphone, as you saw. Mm-hmm. But the really important thing for me, Rita, that I found is that we really received a great deal of admiration and respect as well.
That's good.
And those are really, I mean, we had so many, I call them quiet Australians, quiet students, who came up to me in particular, dozens, who said, "I'm with you, mate. Thank you for what you're doing. And thank you for putting up with these socialists." So, you know, sure, we had great abuse. We also had a lot of respect, and that to me is more important.
Now, I've seen some abuse following the event online. I've seen social media posts from some of these unhinged campus lefties. Do you worry that that hostility is going to silence others? Sure, you had people coming up to you and saying, "We're with you," but are they brave enough to say that publicly on campus?
Sure. Well, unfortunately, I fear that it will silence them. The real answer, of course, is that it shouldn't, and it's a damn shame if it does. But I can tell you that the Monash University Liberal Club, myself, and the president we've got, the executive, we're all advocating very strongly and proudly for no. So I can tell you it's not silencing us, Rita, because we know how important this is. And I think, you know, when you really look at the details, or even lack thereof, of this proposal, and you start to think about, do we want this in our constitution? I mean, it's clear the vast majority of Australians are concluding the answer to that question is no. So,
well, Ed, as a young Australian, as a law student, why do you feel so passionately about this issue?
So there's really two main reasons, Rita. The first is division. I mean, this is going to install in our constitution and in our Australian way of life for decades and decades, potentially centuries to come. Because this is constitutional change at the end of the day. It's going to instill this division between Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australian forever. Yeah. Because as you know, probably better than anyone, Rita, this, once you put it in, you can't get rid of it. This is not like legislation. So division is one really important aspect for me. The other is the significance of the change. I mean, Albo says that this is some meagre, some insignificant change. The truth is it couldn't be any really much more radical than it actually is. So, I mean, those are two main reasons. And as I say, we're advocating very, very strongly. We try on the campus because we know the importance of a no vote. So,
well, you're brave, because I know university campuses, whether it's here in Melbourne or really anywhere in this country or in the West, they are echo chambers of leftist thought, and they are not very tolerant of opposing views. But you look at the latest news poll, and it shows that 50% of young Australians are intending to vote yes. The no vote is now at 41% for young Australians, a big swing towards no. Support for the Voice has dropped almost 20% since the start of this year among 18-year-olds to 34-year-olds. So there are plenty of young Australians who do agree with you, but are there any signs of that at Monash University where you are? We've seen the universities be very active in their yes advocacy. Are there signs that show, okay, if you're voting no, we are inclusive of your thoughts?
Well, as you saw from the video, Rita, and as your viewers saw too, the socialists/communists were not too happy with us. But as I said before, there really are a lot of students who, you know, they're quiet. They're not openly advocating no for fear of being shouted at like we were. But a lot of people, the majority, are with us. So, you know, I'm so pleased to see those polls where the support is decreasing, because a lot of people are really looking into the details that have been given as we approach the date, and they're realising we don't want this. So there are signs we got a lot of support on the campus, and I was actually very happy with the result.
Ed Kroger, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you so much, Rita.